The first round of the 2025 NBA playoffs featured a matchup in the Western Conference that had palpable anticipation. The new-look LA Lakers with LeBron and Luka Doncic would take on the young but battle-tested Minnesota Timberwolves, led by their franchise cornerstone, Anthony Edwards. Now, if you only looked at the series stat lines and how the Stars performed without looking at the final result, you'd think it was exactly the matchup that fans wanted out of the two teams loaded with talent. But the result was way less competitive than many expected, as the Wolves took out LA in only 5 games. And when you go back and watch the film, you can see how Ant-Man had developed and improved his game in order to help his Wolves get through the 2025 playoffs. Here's the King himself, LeBron James, on his podcast with Steve Nash, discussing those exact improvements from Ant, as well as what LeBron told Edwards upon the series conclusion.
You have the size. You tried, obviously, as you did in the regular season, to a lot of success. Zone up, get up in the gaps, try to take the primary ball handler out of the game. But when they have that quickness and he's so explosive, man. And he's improved the
playmaking. Exactly. He's improved so much with his playmaking. And you've seen him make the jump, just from last year's playoff run all the way to just one playoff series right there. He was super patient, even when we were getting up in the gaps, and sometimes we would double him, sometimes we would smoke, sometimes we would just be up in the gaps just trying to make him think. And we did. He had one quote where he was like, their defense is confusing, they're making me think. And he figured it out. So I commend him, man. He grew throughout our series that I think is going to benefit him throughout, the rest of this run.
But 100%. And your guys' strategy felt like, for me, whether you were in a soft blitz or just in the gaps, you were leaving guys in the corner, coming high, loading to the ball, trying to bait him into those passes that maybe he's not sure the guy's going to get a look, or he's got to throw it over hands, trying to confuse him. And I think, to your point, he did a lot of things better this year than he has in the past. He slowed down.
Yeah.
He changed paces. He would drive and he would hesitate slightly instead of just all one speed, to give him a chance to see, is he coming? Is he not coming? Where's this pass? Where's my window? Do I have a layup, or do I need to get off it? He also sometimes got into a crowd, and instead of making a difficult pass, he made simple passes, which in the past I don't think he was as willing to make. That's a huge step, right? Just the simple one, get off it and allow your teammate to have a closeout. Or a 2-on-1, right? Like, that's the way to bust the way you guys were trying to load to him.
Yeah.
Tricky because the foot speed piece. So for me, I'd love to hear how you guys approached it. But even when you tried to double him a little bit, guys were reluctant to run out and double him because he's so explosive. So then he has the time. To look around and pick his spot.
Yeah, and that's why we changed pitches. We wanted to try to change pitches on him as much as possible, because you don't never give one player, no great players, one steady diet of the same thing. But even when you try to double him, his ability to race double teams, to split double teams, to get creative, he's still strong too. So it's not like he's a frail guy where you can double him and be super aggressive with him and get him on.
Yeah.
He's learned over the time, but he's strong. He has low center of gravity. He has a great handle. He can shoot the ball extremely well. And to add on to what we said a couple times before in some of our older episodes about believing in your teammates, making them feel even better than what they are as well. And he's trusting his teammates to make plays. I think listen, we got to give Minnesota their play. That's a damn good team, man.
Very good team.
I'm looking forward to seeing their next matchup.
Yeah, for sure. There's a clip of you telling Ant after the game, take the next step.
Yeah.
In your words, as somebody that you have played with on the USAB stuff and the Olympics gold medal together, obviously there's some mentorship. Like, well, what did that moment mean to you when you say that to a young player that you've shared the floor with?
I think that moment for me is like understanding and recognizing the next generation and someone who can do it and be great, and be great for a long time in our league. I think that's what our game is all about, is being able to pass it down to the next generation, and they can continue to do great things. And for me, being out there in my 22nd season, playing against a young up-and-coming superstar in the flesh, Anthony Edwards, and watching him in the postseason last year make those steps to get to the Western Conference Finals and fall short to Dallas, and then have a full summer with him in the Olympic team and seeing how great he was, just listening and just soaking in everything from myself to KD to Steph You could just see he was just like a little kid in a candy
enthusiasm
store.
for it.
Yeah, right? Like super energetic and happy and just like super, like he was just grateful that he was in that opportunity to be there. And for me to just tell him to take the next step, it doesn't always mean, okay, well, Western Conference Finals and now you got to be in the finals. It's like take the next step and just you as a person, you as a player, continue to get better and better. Your time's going to come. Whenever I can't decide when that's going to be. Sometimes we have no control over when that next step, as far as going to the finals and winning. We're not always have the opportunity to do that, but like we do have control over making the next step in our own individual journey. Yeah. And I think that's what it was about, because I love seeing that, man. I love seeing Jason Tatum take that next step. Now I see Ant taking that next step, and it's a proud feeling for me, you know, as a player, been in the league for so long.
Yeah, you admire it when you see someone's putting the time in. Yeah. They're improving. Like you said, for Ant to have that type of openness and attitude around USAB, coming in with like, this is a great opportunity, like immediately it's going to give you excitement for his journey, because he wants to learn, you can tell. But I think that buy-in of continually improving, someone like, he can rely on his athleticism. Yeah. But to take the next step, you know, he's got to be a great teammate. He's got to be coachable. He's got to make his teammates believe he's bought in. I think you could see that. There's always been a little chatter around Rudy or around Randall. And I thought they both were laser focused, simplified their games, were efficient. And that's a lot of it comes from the head of the snake. Is he willing to make the simple play, pass, make his teammates better? Because, I mean, Rudy had a great game and he deserves all the credit in the world. But his opportunities came from the pressure Ant puts on the defense.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything that Rudy did in that game 5 came because Ant approached the game the way he did those first 4 games. Now all the eyes was on Ant, and everything was game planned around Ant, and Rudy was the beneficiary of that moment. And also when you have a guy like Ant who's growing and making that change, and you can see him developing more and more, it makes guys want to come there too.
That's right.
You have to think long term too when it comes to like free agency and things of that nature. How do you continue to get better too as a team, is being able to get small pieces. When you're a good team that's trying to become a great team, there's literally 1 or 2 pieces like in the off season that if you acquire, that makes the jump for you. And Ant has that. He has that bravado and that flair and that it factor that guys want to play alongside that, because it's energetic, it's fun, and he competes. He competes.
For sure. And we got to give some credit to their coaching staff. They've done a great job.
For sure.
They've developed those guys, and as well. It's a symbiotic relationship, right? Like coaches develop, players got to buy in, and they've both done that. And I could kind of read between the lines. Rudy was asked, and didn't shoot the ball well. And his comment was, he made the right plays. We don't care if he makes or misses. To me, that's an organizational language. That's the stuff they're hearing in film sessions, in meetings. Like, Ant, make the right plays, make the right decisions. His growth from last year to this year in that way. So I give credit to the whole organization, especially that coaching staff, for helping that team matriculate.
For Anthony Edwards, this beatdown of LA and LeBron made it his 2nd straight postseason where the young phenom humbled the legend in the first round, as Ant swept KD and the Phoenix Suns in the 2024 NBA playoffs. Ant totally dominated that series, leading all players in scoring with 31 points per game on 51.2% from the field and 43.8% from three-point range. But as was the case with the Lakers, it won't be the stats people remember or even the sweep, but the moments where a new, exciting player wasn't lightly tiptoeing around these legends for respect, but taking it by force in satisfying fashion. Karl Anthony Towns was on the floor for many of these moments, and the Podcast P crew made sure to ask Kat when he sat down with them about that series in particular, and what it was like to see Ant go at KD with absolutely zero fear.
But when your boy Anthony Edwards, of course, was trash talking KD, and he made that 3 of them was talking about these. What did he say? Oh,
great competition.
You know what I'm saying?
Great competition.
I want to know, how was your reaction when that happened?
You know what's crazy? I didn't even recognize it.
How you didn't recognize that?
We in the game. I'm locked in. I'm locked into winning. I know for a lot of things, I'd be just so locked into the game. I'm not realizing those little things that people are doing because I'm just focusing on defense, or maybe we got to get here, I got to run back this way, or whatever the case may be. When I saw it after and I was seeing, I was like, that's just Ant though. Ultra competitive, fiery, passionate. loves the game of basketball. I think what's great is that the fans and everyone recognized that this was no disrespect towards him at all. This was just Ant having so much emotion for playing the game, so passionate about playing someone like KD and just being able to express it at a moment where he gets to play him with all the stakes on the line and NBA playoffs. I think that was a special moment for him. I'm happy he had that moment. I'm glad that we all got to share that moment that resulted in a win. It would be really tough to have that happen and then you lose, and then I already know how the internet reacts to that shit. So
yeah, to be clear though, all season long he was calling.
Yeah.
He was calling us old ass all season long.
I don't think people at our age like to be called old.
Not at all.
Yeah.
At all. Like, what'd you say, young fella? Hold on, come here. Now I gotta teach you something. Come here.
Uh-oh.
Yes, that moment was funny that it went viral because, the backside to that, when we play, every time we play y'all, he telling me, you old as shit. Kawhi, you old as shit. James, you old as shit. I'm like, listen, you gonna get old one day. Like,
he didn't discredit him saying he's old.
I ain't gonna discredit it. Hey, he is the young dude, he the young blood. Yeah. But be careful what you say. Like, your days are coming too. You're gonna be that old dude too. I hope you can play at a high level.
I remember when Finch got hurt, Ant said, if this is what getting old look like, I don't want to get old. He was like, Ant, he got his knee ran into. He don't care. I don't want to be like that.
It is a bad sight when you look at the coaches and how they be hobbling, and you be like, damn.
I mean, I wish our coach
it's not a good sight to look forward to.
Even hobble.
Until he lose, he'll get up. He'll be like,
it's old,
damn.
right?
Like, damn.
Old mannerism.
Nah, that ain't something to look forward to.
You get old when you start getting up and go,
yeah, right. Or like, you notice when people, when they gotta like lean to get up, a little momentum.
Get momentum.
You be like, damn.
When you take out KD and LeBron in back-to-back NBA playoff seasons, especially in the style that Ant did these last 2 years, it's clear the Wolf superstar wants all the smoke and can handle anything that comes with it. When watching up-and-coming NBA players make their rise to superstardom, we always want them to hunt the challenges, stare down the hypothetical legend across from them, and play as if the moment belongs to them already. But it is truly rare that someone consistently does, and it truly feels like a changing of the guard in real time when you see it happening. That's exactly what caught Carmelo Anthony's eye. On the 7 p.m. in Brooklyn podcast, Melo zeroed in on Edwards' mindset, the rare, almost stubborn insistence on taking the toughest assignment and then making the night about winning that matchup. He talked about a different mentality, the kind that doesn't wait its turn to take the challenge, but decides before everyone else, I'm one of them, so I'm guarding them. Here's the Hall of Famer Melo on the smoke Ant seeks out, the responsibilities he welcomes because of it, and why these playoff runs make us feel like Ant has arrived.
You know what I mean? Melo, Ant-Man, finished the year strong, career high average, leading the league in threes. Has Ant officially cracked the code? I'm saying, what are we seeing? What are we seeing in this young man, Doug? That's the white hat. That's, like you said, the curve. He's hitting the curve, you know what I'm saying? He's arriving.
He's here.
Bro.
I think he figured it out. It's hard to figure it out at a young age like that. That early in your career, it's hard to figure it out. As far as, I ain't talking about winning and winning championships, I'm saying he's figured out how to go get it. And I said this earlier in the season, I always revert back to the season. People were so down on Ant, and it's this and it's that, and it's this and it's that, and Julius, and it's that. It's a long-ass season, long season. Now they found their groove. Now Julius is out there doing what he do. Jaden McDaniels is arriving. He's showing up.
Balling.
He's showing up. You know what I'm saying? So now you got these guys who actually, DiVincenzo is timely. He's timely, right? And just doing what he do. But I like the way that he's approaching it, though. Like, when you're a student of the game, you approach it that way. I know that I got to take the quote-unquote king out. I know I got to go take it. I got to really take it from him. I got to show I'm trying to take it from the, you know what I mean? And I'm just saying this moment, at this moment, not saying taking anything, but this moment, I got to show everybody that. I've showed y'all before. I've showed y'all what I did that to Denver, did that to KD, in Phoenix, not just KD, but in talks, in barbershop talk, it would be KD. It would be Joker and Jamal. it would be Luka, it would be LeBron.
Yep.
That's serious. So when you study the game that way, and I always said Mortal Kombat, you going up the chamber, you going up the ladder. To take it's hard for me to call my brother the king. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the quote unquote, just the notion of him being the king. He's King James at the end of the day.
But it's like, nah, I'm guarding him.
And it's like, I have to go take it from him. I have to put my two palms, I got to push him in his chest. I got to foul him. I got to go take this shit. And that's what we seeing, you know what I mean? And he 5-yard checked the nigga at half court. 2 hands, boom. I jumped up on the basket. Oh, shit. Nah. But I love it. And if you're going to take something from somebody, that's the way you approach it.
Right.
And he's on his way to doing that.
I'll never forget,
It's a different mentality, bro. It's not everybody has that mentality. Not everybody want that type of action. Well, I'm guarding I want this. I'm guarding these. I'm guarding Luka. I'm guarding Bron. This is what I'm doing. I have to show, if I'm one of them, I have to guard one of them. I have to be one of them. I have to go against one of them. And that's the approach. You don't see people taking that approach. That's a different mentality.
When discussing 2010s basketball, the 3 biggest and most successful names of the decade are as follows. LeBron James, who made a staggering 8 NBA Finals in a row for 2 different franchises and led Cleveland to its first sports championship in 50 years. Kevin Durant, who changed the entire course of the decade by leaving OKC, a city he put on the basketball map, for a loaded Golden State Warriors squad led by the third and final name, which is Stephen Curry, the greatest shooter of all time, the catalyst of the volume 3-point shooting era we have today, and a man who made 5 straight NBA Finals in his own right. Anthony Edwards had already collected 2 of those names like a Grim Reaper, and was looking to capture the final major name of one of the league's most popular decades. Unfortunately, Steph got hurt after scoring 13 points in just as many minutes, and would not return to the series. Ant and the Wolves, however, would take full advantage and knock the weakened Warriors out with yet another gentleman's sweep. Despite the fact that the 23-year-old wing still had to contend with the folklore hero that is Playoff Jimmy, Ant would have an exceptional all-around series, and just like against LA, would show his development as a basketball player. Not forcing up shots, but finding the open man to get the best shot every possession from Minnesota. Here's the Gills Arena crew on the collection of names Ant has defeated in the postseason on his way to back-to-back Western Conference Finals appearances. Plus, Gil talks about how Edwards' game has such a unique combination of physicality and skill that's rarely been seen before.
What does leading the Timberwolves to back-to-back conference finals say about Ant-Man?
I mean, he's a dog.
Whoa.
He's a dog.
Much like underdog. Woo.
He loves competition. He loves this time of the year. You can tell this is something that he's been wanting and something that he lives for. I'm just excited for him. At 24 years old, doing what he do, I can't wait to see him in the next series.
Had the Warriors won this game, they wouldn't have played again until Sunday. They would have had a nice extended break. But that's a hypothetical
Anthony
now.
Edwards.
Oh, he did what he supposed to do. Night. Took everybody in, sacrificing goats like Tommy Shepard.
But Gil, let's shift over to you. Ant-Man now, back-to-back Western Conference Finals at only 23 years old. Name the list of players that he's defeated to get there in the postseason. Swept KD and the Suns last year, beat Joker in 7, got LeBron and the Lakers this year, Luka as well. And now Steph, Jimmy Butler, and Draymond Green added to that list. Steph did play in 1 game, so he is Ant-Man eligible.
And he's showing that he's getting better, making strides. If we watch how he was his rookie season versus how he is now, completely different player, right? You can see he does watch film, he works on his game. Those comments he made about everybody wasn't skillful back in the day, I can see why, because he has something a lot of those guys didn't have. He has the athleticism that everyone had, everyone didn't have the skills with the athleticism. Either you was very athletic or you didn't have no athleticism and you was skilled. So for a guy who has very great footwork with athleticism, which is rare, right? You're talking about, when we're talking about the elite of athleticism, you're talking about him, DeRozan had great footwork for a guy who had a 40-something inch vertical, which usually the athletes just really hang on to their athleticism. So he has shown that he's very, very tuned with this sport at an early age, and he's up there with a great group of guys.
So the Warriors had a hand in creating this monster that is Ant-Man. Obviously, his pre-draft workouts realized he wasn't working hard enough. This past summer, being able to work out with Steph during the Olympics, start shooting a lot more threes, said Steph was very instrumental in helping him decide to do that this season, and now gets to hit that squad with the gentleman's sweep. But Mr. B, when you look at Ant-Man and what he's been able to accomplish at such a very young age now, like I said, the first time in Wolves franchise history that they've reached the conference finals 2 straight seasons.
Yeah, it's exciting. Exciting, man. He's young. He's not really trying to be the face of the league, but he just goes out there and play hard every night. I love his attitude. I love that he doesn't care. He's a people's person to me. When he does his interview, he come in there with sweats on, hoodie on, look like he's like a hooper, like an AAU hooper. And I just love his just knowledge for the game and just wanting to keep getting better and loving to be around the greats and asking the greats questions and things like that. So I think when LeBron and Steph and them leave, I think the game is in good hands. Still got a young Tatum, still got a young Luka, still got a young Anthony Edwards and SGA and things like that. So I think the league will be fine.
So Ant-Man loves to work, but also loves to work out. In the discussion for face of the league, you could do both. They are not mutually exclusive.
You can't.
Absolutely not.
We're seeing it. We're seeing it right now.
No.
2 straight conference finals appearances.
That's why it's still open. What is it called? Still tryouts.
Absolutely.
Having tryouts.
The more holes he tries out, the more people didn't try out for face of the league.
As Gilbert Arenas brought up, Anthony Edwards has had a combative relationship with players from previous eras thanks to his scorching hot takes about a lack of skill in those days. Now, it wasn't that long ago, obviously, but Tony Allen does qualify as a player from a previous era that was definitely known more for his will and his 6 all-defensive selections than his skill with the ball in his hands. And when he sat down with the OGs on their pod, Udonis Haslem asked how exactly a prime Tony Allen would guard the Ant-Man. And his response is not what you'd think, as he shows the young Edwards the ultimate respect.
I got one more before we go, because you talked about how you would stop SGA. I gotta ask you, how would you stop Brunson? Because he got the foul going on. So how would you stop Brunson? And after Brunson, I gotta ask you, how would you stop Ant-Man? Those are my last 2.
And as far as Ant, I think he the one that probably got me. Because it's like you can't, if he east or west, you know what I mean? He could pull up from 40 now, you know what I'm saying? His range got extended. Then if you push him left, he might take off, go left and throw it on your head.
Pop your ass.
And then if he go right, he just as strong as going to the other way to dunk you the other way. You see what I'm saying? So it ain't really no weakness in his game.
He figured out that trap, and they started sending them 2 at him. He figured that out.
He figured it out. Start coming up with huge assists. I like that, but I don't know. He tough, bro. And I don't got no answer for that.
Man, listen, I've never been first team, never been 20th team, but I've watched a lot of basketball, right? And the biggest thing you mentioned about all 3 of those guys, you're never going to stop them. You try to slow them down. Everything I've seen in playoff basketball when you're successful, the best players make them inefficient and keep them off the foul line.
Exactly.
Because you talked about both of them. Brunson lives at the foul line. Shea shoots 12, 13 of them a game, right? Ant finds, so it's trying to make them inefficient. They're more than likely going to walk away with 20-plus points.
But like you said, you want
that's
those.
before you put on that
Exactly right. So what you want is a 38% from the field that night and 6 free throws.
That's
winning your battle.
2-3 minutes of the game.
But with that being said, that's hard as shit.
You got to get him there.
Exactly right.
It ain't gonna be easy to take him. You ain't gonna be easy to take him there. But a point that you made that's great, and I think a lot of people don't recognize about offensive players, and you made this point, is a lot of people think when you're a left-handed basketball player, as a big, you want to come up and set the screen on their side so they can go to their left immediately. I always used to set the screen on D-Wade left hand. I always just set the screen on D-Wade right hand.
So he go left.
Because he's going to go left. But I know I'm going to send him to his right just so he can cross over, go left, and get that step back and get to his spot with his left hand. So a lot of times I would set it on his strong hand just because I know he's going back left to get to that step. When you set that on Brunson's hand, I love what you said, because a lot of times if you set it on the left-hand side, he going to cross over and get to that right just so he can get to that step back. So send him to his left and try to keep him over there. And
Go over there. Let's see how good.
Because once you get in his pocket, you got too much.
And I ain't worried about you finishing over none of the bigs. So
and I know it's easier said than done. We just going over strategies here, but I love that strategy.
They east to west though. They east to west.
Once they get
that's what set them up to get into that little position where they want to bump and then the fade. So it's all about just really smelling this cologne early. Let's smell this cologne early. Let's get in there and smell this cologne early.
Just like Tony Allen mentioned when saying why Ant-Man would give him problems, at any moment, Ant can take off and throw down some of the nastiest dunks the NBA has seen in years from one player. Two in particular, though, have always stood out as especially insane. One of his first viral posters against Yuta Watanabe and the Raptors in his rookie year. And then when he baptized John the Baptist with an insane display of vertical leaping ability versus the Jazz in March of 2024. Former Ant teammates Jalen Noel and Justin Jackson sat down with Theo Pinson on his podcast and discussed what they thought about those dunks, as well as when they knew Ant would be one of the best players in the NBA.
How many years you do with Ant?
3. Yeah. He came that second when
the second year is when he got there. You knew he was gonna be this special?
Not this. I ain't gonna cap. Not this. I knew he was gonna be good, because you gotta think at the time when he first came, bro, and he even said he struggled a little bit. He was coming off the bench, so that obviously that fucks with your mind. And even then, he was taking the exact same shots. They just weren't going in at the rate they were now. So I was like, this dude gonna be nice. He's gonna be dunking the shit out of people, all this. But I remember it was like, played that year, had a good rookie year. Then he came back that second year, bro. And I remember we played in the summer, that summer shit where everybody comes back and just plays a little bit. Motherfucker was hitting every step back, dunking the shit out that motherfucker. I'm like, ooh wee.
That dunk he had against Toronto, you was there for that?
Yes.
Lord have mercy.
He put that shit on boy head something crazy. Oh my God.
That shit was racist as fuck.
No cap.
That shit was racist as hell, bruh. Bro, come on, bruh. How you gonna do my man from Japan like that?
Bro,
that shit him up. Crazy.
That's probably why he's not in the league anymore.
You can't unsee that. You can't unsee that.
You can't come back from that.
Come on, bruh. That's why everybody said you gotta make business decisions, bruh.
And with Ant, bro, you have to make business decisions with him, bro. You got to get out the way.
That shit made no sense, bro.
Though, and one thing I got to credit the ref, because he stepped out of bounds.
Did he? You got to let that play
I'm so
rock.
Happy that ref let that slide, bro. So happy.
Insane work.
Because he let that go, and that was one of the greatest dunks in NBA history. I can't even lie.
Other thing we need to talk about, and this needs to be addressed right now. Anthony Edwards is an alien. I know we jumped straight to NBA. We in the NBA realm right now. Anthony Edwards is an alien. What he did, he baptized John Collins. Play the clip home. What the hell? He had ill intentions that whole time. Then he dislocated his damn finger.
He dislocated his finger.
You were around him, bruh.
People don't understand, bro. People truly don't understand the amount of game that guy has, bro.
And he's just out there having fun.
Just having fun.
Can he turn it on and off?
100%.
That's a different level of greatness.
No, he was the first. He was not the first, because we've been around a lot of really great players. But as far as his age and how young he is, he's only been in the league for what? This is third year? Second year? Third year?
Fourth year.
He already signed his extension? So fourth year.
Fourth year.
And he's one of the first that I've walked in, and immediately you feel the greatness that he has in him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You see him go into a game and he does some things and you're like, come 5 years from now, when all of that is fully polished.
5'2". How old is he now? What? He's 20. Bro, he's not even scratching his prime.
Think about it. 5 years from now,
28.
He's our age.
He's 22 years old.
They said, bro, he's got too much game. And I was like, it's real, bro.